Good morning. Good morning. You always gonna make the bed first thing in the morning. Just start your day off right. Welcome to episode 2. Let's get it. You know, maybe it's just me, but I love having ice in my water. It's crazy. I don't know why. I just love when you're parched and you hate everything because you're so thirsty, but then you get a nice cold swig of just ice cold water. It's the best thing in the world. All right, welcome back to the series where we use weird shit to hold the microphone. And today we are using my face moisturizer. It's Everyman Jack, not sponsored. But yeah, welcome back to the vlog. Hope everybody enjoyed episode 1. If you haven't seen that, you can go to my channel. There's a playlist that is titled Premiere to Programmer, which is the name of the series we're going with, by the way. Came up with that via ChatGPT, so I thought that was kind of cool, but it has a nice ring to it, so we're gonna go with it. A couple of points I want to address from the last vlog. Had some weird audio issues. Everything sounded fine in post-production when I was editing. All the audio levels sound great, but then I was watching it back and the audio fluctuates a lot, so gonna fix that this episode. So if that was a concern, it's being dealt with. Second observation, never shooting in auto again. Don't know why I thought that was a great idea. Never done it before, but I was like, you know what? Let's try it. Terrible idea. Never do that. It is now week 2 of my boot camp and things are going pretty great, not gonna lie. Had the first day of class of week 2 yesterday and it went really well. We dove into some HTML, CSS, and built a resume via repo and GitHub. Don't want to brag, mine was kind of great. I really liked it. I got MVP, which means I met all of the goals that we were supposed to do. And dude, some of my classmates looked really good. Shout out Casey. Casey's one of the guys in my class. His looked sick as fuck. He had a whole astral vibe kind of going. You had some stars and stuff with a nice, really pretty purple color. He had hyperlinks and everything. He went way beyond the requirements and it looked sick. So shout out Casey. But today we have day 2 of week 2. We're going to be diving into, what are we diving into? Flexbox and Bootstrap. And that's just a little bit more of, I want to say CSS and less HTML, but I could be completely wrong about that, so we'll reflect back on that later. So today is going to be a little bit weirder of a day. We don't really have anything that we can really dive into work-wise with class because we have to do the live learning session first, which if you don't know what a live learning session is, it's this really cool thing that NSS does, where basically the instructor will go through a PowerPoint explaining all the topics and concepts that we're going to be working on. And then we jump into Code Sandbox, which if you haven't seen that either, you should really check it out. It's a really cool program. We'll jump into Code Sandbox and work on the topic in real time, coding through it together as a class, answering questions and whatnot. And it's really, really cool experience. So I have all this time blocked off for classwork, but there's not really much I can do without the live learning session. So we're still going to do something that's productive and related to my classwork, but it's going to be a little bit different. So as you see here, I have a beautiful 36 inch ultra wide monitor that is great. And then I also have my iPad hooked up as a second monitor to my Mac. Now this setup has done great for me over the last 3 months since I had it. It's ultra wide, so I can have my timeline just completely stretched out, see everything. I got my assets on the side. I got my view window, my preview. It's great. I love it, right? I've learned in the past 2 weeks, it is not great for coding. Not only are we on Mac, which is notoriously awful for window snapping, but in order to have 3 panels open, 3 Chrome tabs, or VS Code on the left side, the Google Chrome in the middle, and then my repos open on the right side for instructions, it sucks because you can't actually get the windows wide enough to make them functional. So what we're going to be doing today in the time before class is swapping this monitor out with 2 monitors. If we can, we might leave this on there. I don't know yet. I don't know if it'll work, but that's what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to be doing a trip to Best Buy, getting 2 monitors, some monitor arms, and setting that up. Also, real quick, sorry if you can hear the lawnmower outside. So many noises in my apartment today. The washing machine was going when I was trying to do an audio clip earlier. The fan was going because it's always hot as shit in here. Let me put you guys on something. If you're looking to do a little content creation yourself, you have a lot of different stuff like me. Like I have a tripod, I have these little arms and stuff. I have this for my phone if I'm doing a time lapse. Like, let me put you guys on something real quick. These little things, they're like 13 bucks on Amazon. These little things are probably my favorite piece of equipment I have. It's literally just a quick release plate. Like, watch. This is your camera. Here's your little thing that goes on your tripod. It just clicks in, and you can even lock it. Like, you can lock it. Now it won't come off. It won't come off. Unlock it. Pop off. It's easy. It's easy. It's the best piece of equipment I have. 13 bucks on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description if I can remember. Not affiliated, by the way. So I was using this arm before to film my camera shots, right? So it's like a little clip. It's got a little tripod mount. Throw one of these boys on there. Bob's your uncle, right? So Small Rig, another great company. I think their stuff's a little expensive personally, but they make good quality stuff. Like, it's great. You can get like a camera rig cage. That's what I have on that. That's why I have all these attachments. And this is what we're gonna try to use to film stuff in the car from now on. I don't know what I'm gonna clip it to, but I was about to leave. Just coming back to grab it. Thought I'd talk about it. Cool. So I had a little Slack message right there. Let's take this a little opportunity while we drive to talk about just like networking, right? Like I said in episode 1, I wanted to like document my networking journey as well. Let's just do a little story time. So just in my class, right? Literally day 1, I alluded to this a little bit in the first episode, but literally day 1, there's 17 people in my class, right? So literally day 1, right? Like I just DM'd a bunch of people in my class. There's only 17 people in there, right? But I DM'd maybe 4 or 5 people and just said, hey, you know, I'm Noah. I'm just messaging a couple of people in class, trying to make some friends and get to know them. Like I literally just said that. So I just said like, how are you? And then like I followed it up with like, how are you doing? Or how was the first day of class for you, right? And just by doing that, right? Like 17 people, I'm gonna get to work with every one of them in this next year at some point on a project or something, right? But by just individually reaching out to them and seeking that connection and like putting effort into it, like they're gonna remember me. They are. So, you know, a year from now, even if we get to work with each other on a project and get to know each other even better, just by that first interaction, like, wow, he took the time to reach out to me and make a friendship or make a connection, they're gonna remember that. And I'm not saying that the other connections they make just by being in class with the others isn't gonna matter. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that by doing something as small as individually reaching out to somebody anywhere, like that means a lot to people, because it's hard to make friends, man. Like it's hard to like genuinely find people who are cool and you can get along with. Like that's a hard thing to do. So by doing that, by sticking out that effort, that handshake, it can mean a lot to somebody. So with that being said, network away. Like with anybody, whether you already have a job somewhere and you're working at a company, message somebody on Teams, message somebody in Slack, message somebody on Discord, whatever program you use. Just find somebody that you kind of know, or you're like, man, that person looks cool from what I've seen. Like just reach out to them and make a friend, because the people you know are the ones who are going to help you get your jobs. Those are the people that's your network, right? So reach out to people. Like reach out to people. So update, you know, I was talking about Casey earlier and how cool his project was. He's the guy who messaged me on Slack, and literally just to prove my point of what I was just saying, all I said was, I'll read you this conversation. I'm at a red light. I said last night, dude, your resume looks sick, because we had to make a resume, right? He said, oh, thanks, man, just saw this. And I said, no worries, you seem to know a lot and you're really good at this. How long have you been coding? And now he literally sent me like a paragraph of like 30 lines explaining his story to me, and now we're going back and forth, and now we're talking about gaming, right? We're just I found a similar interest, and now I'm getting to know him via that. Like it's that simple, and it doesn't have to be a big thing. Like Like there's a lot of people on LinkedIn and YouTube who are in the tech world who say you need to do content, you need to do content. You don't have to do content, right? To build a network. I'm doing it because A, I enjoy it, and B, I like using it as like a hobby. Like I enjoy making videos, but you don't have to do content. You can literally start as small as DMing someone from your workplace, your school. It doesn't matter. Just talk to people, build that network. It can be one person at a time. It can be 2 people at a time. It doesn't matter. Just build that network. That's it for the networking. Almost a Best Buy. I got stuck at this red light, dude. Like there's this car just sitting there and someone honked at it and then it went, but then I missed the light. So now I gotta sit here. So we are back. That was like an hour endeavor, by the way, but it's pretty cool because the guy, shout out Robbie at Best Buy, helped me. Oh, my hat came off. Robbie helped me pick out the monitors that I wanted. Like I said, I just went with like a basic 1080p monitor. I don't need anything like super high res. Plus I'll be editing off my MacBook as well too, and that has a 4K screen, so I think it's a 4K screen. I don't know, I gotta go put this car back, be right back. All right, so just finished up at Best Buy. Shout out Robbie, by the way. There's a guy at the Florence Best Buy, Robbie, super helpful, super chill. He helped me pick out like 2 1080p monitors, nothing fancy. Like here's literally the cheapest monitor they had, and they were on sale for 4th of July, that ends tomorrow. So if you're interested, well, you won't see this by tomorrow, so. Yeah, so now it's 4:16. I'm gonna head back to the house, change out the monitors, get the monitor arms up, get everything set up ready to go for class, and we'll go from there. Also, we're gonna make a quick stop at Kroger because Megan needs some stuff for her lunches for work, so I'm gonna go pick that stuff up right now before we go home. All right, so just wrapped up at Kroger. Now we're gonna head home. I always like doing little things for Megan like this, just because, you know, she works a lot more than I do right now because I'm in school, and she also makes a lot more right now. So she's providing for our household, and it makes me really appreciative that she works as hard as she does. So like I always like doing little things like that, and I just feel like that's a great way to show appreciation to your partner. One of many ways, right? You know, she works 2 to 10:30, right? Like she works night shift job, and she just works really hard. And so like I try to take as much responsibility as I can at home, since most of the week I am at home. So like that's what I was doing this morning. Like my day usually doesn't start until around 2 o'clock, because what I'll do is I'll get up and I'll do cleaning, if I can, do some laundry, vacuum. Like I try to do that stuff every day just to keep the house clean. And we're both really clean people, but like just, you know, above and beyond as much as I can, just to do my part and show appreciation, you know what I mean? So like always show your partners love, man. Like do everything you can for them, especially if they are working like an in-person job and you get to work from home. Like just show some love, you know what I mean? Like I love doing little things like that for Megan. Like all I did was I went to the store for her. It took me 10 minutes. I mean, maybe 15 in total, like walking around grabbing a couple of things, but just do what you can. All right, had to change shirts. I was getting really sweaty, and had to wash my hair because it was really gross. So we did that real quick. But now it's time to start taking this thing apart and getting the new monitors and everything set up. I think I'm just gonna do a time lapse, just because we only have 2 hours before class, and I still need to do dinner and shower. So let's hop to it. Cue the time lapse.
Run it up.
All right, so it is the next day. I actually ended up getting this done probably about 5 minutes before class started. So didn't really get to do much of an outro, not even an outro, just like a recap of the whole time lapse process. And then the live learning was really good. Yesterday we went over Flexbox in CSS and Bootstrap, how to import that into your HTML, into your JavaScript, and then how to use it. Our project goal was to make a calculator and then do like a link in bio page that you would have like on a website or something. And I'm not gonna lie, I struggled a lot. Still trying to wrap my mind around Bootstrap. I spent most of the morning just going over Bootstrap videos, watching people build projects with Bootstrap, trying to just wrap my head around it, because I don't want to just look at someone else's code and copy it. I want to be able to actually write it myself and understand what I'm writing. So yeah, that's what I'm about to hop in and do. We have a couple of hours before our group study tonight. So I'm gonna dive into that and try to knock those projects out because I didn't finish them, and I wanted to get those done today. And then we have another project that we have to do with our group, that we're gonna be making some product cards, like a product card page with buttons, and you can interact with it and whatnot. So that'll be really cool. A lot of styling these first couple of weeks, which I'm okay with. I definitely need to practice and need that to be able to call myself a front-end developer. But it's different. It's a lot more challenging than I thought it would be, like in practice. So, but with all that being said, let's go over the new setup, which, spoiler alert, it went great last night. It was so functional, and I know it seems ridiculous and over the top, but it actually made so much sense, and it made my work just flow probably twice as fast, honestly. So on the left screen back here, we had GitHub and Slack, so I could keep track of messaging and whatnot. On the bottom screen, except for the live learning session, we had Zoom. When I had the live learning, I was up here, so that way I had like a big screen, I could see it all. But Zoom was down here, so I could talk to my classmates. And then up here was my VS Code and my terminal. And then on this screen was my live server, so I could see all the changes I was making in the Bootstrap and using Flexbox. And it just flowed so much better. Also up here, what was even more useful, because the reason I had my GitHub even pulled up in the first place was because the README inside of the repository is where all the instructions and requirements we need for the project. So along with that on this screen, just Google Chrome, I also had the docs for Flexbox and Bootstrap, which were super helpful. I don't think if I had those, I don't know if I would have gotten it. So yeah, read your docs. Don't skim them. Read them. Very helpful. But yeah, so what I'm probably going to do now is just sit down and crank out as much of those two projects, crank out as much of those projects as I can before our group study. And then tonight we'll dive into the product cards and we'll do some updates in between, maybe a little time lapse action. All right, it is 10:16 on the dot. I'm mentally drained. I've been working on two projects consistently for the past 3 hours. And that's a great thing because I got both of them done. Well, let me rephrase. I got one of the labs from yesterday done, and then I got the product card that we were supposed to create tonight done. It's not 100%. I would say it's like 90% there, but it's also 10:30 and I have to work tomorrow. So probably gonna go ahead and call it a night. I'll go ahead and throw 2 screenshots of the projects up right now, maybe even clips of them working, just to show that, They're dynamic. They adjust and everything the way I want. I had to do a couple of things that I don't think are necessarily standard practice. Like there was a couple, like for example, there was a description that we had to put in a product card that I couldn't get to flex the way I wanted to. So I had to kind of just paste the same amount of text, if that makes any sense, to get them all to line up the way I want. But regardless, I think it looks nice. I think it's good. It's a 90%. And if I have time later this week or on Saturday's class, I'm going to go back and make sure I do it 100%. So I know why that wasn't working, or I might make a ticket just to kind of understand why certain things aren't working. I might do that. I think I'll make a ticket. But yeah, so hopefully those look cool. I'm proud of them. I think they look great for week 2, man. Like I feel like it's pretty good. I spent a lot of extra time today doing what was necessary to make sure I understood what was happening. And that is 100% worth my time. Because now I feel much more confident working with Bootstrap and Flexbox than I ever have. And I'm really proud of that. So with all that being said, the new setup works great. I love it. Class is going great. Projects are getting done. I'm going to bed. Thank you guys for watching. If you feel like it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, help me grow. Check out my socials. Should be posting some short form content there later this week or next week. We'll see how I'm feeling. I don't know. Live stream might start next week too. I don't know. But with all that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.